Need to talk about it. So, have you noticed on my channel last couple weeks, I have been struggling a little bit to make videos because of physical issues. Now, I've been on YouTube here for 7 years. I think I've, in the 7 years, it's been consistent about 6 videos, at least a week. So I've got around 2,000 videos on this channel, and only 2 videos are unrelated to the Detroit Lions. Only 2, and actually it should be 1.5 because one I did, it was predominantly Detroit Lions. So I never really get personal on here. I never really talk about. I just keep it Lions news and rumors. But I think today is the day that I at least give you updates on my body and why the videos have been so rough, why I have not had the greatest graphics. And again, I do promise it will get better. But so some of you know, some of you may not know, but I have a really, really, really bad spine. And ever since I was in the Army, my health in my spine has went down significantly. See, I was in the infantry, skinny guy, and you carry a lot of weight. And when I got deployed to Iraq, you have to wear all this body armor, and it pretty much destroyed my spine when I got back. I had a double neck fusion because I had a disease, an infection into my upper spine right here. And it ate away at all of my vertebrae up there, and so I have diffusion to completely hold this in. I was 30 days away from being paralyzed from the neck down because my spine is so jacked. A lot of physical issues, right? I've had multiple surgeries on my shoulder. I tore my meniscus, broken my foot, all sorts of stuff. And this has just been in the last 3 months. Well, not the shoulder surgery, but everything else. I tweaked my shoulder again. But my lower back is really bad. Really, really, really bad. And so why my video, my lower back's been bad since 2008, 2007, and it's recently taken a turn for the worst. Now, why I haven't been making videos and why I'm standing up talking to you right now is I cannot sit in a chair. So what recently happened 3 weeks ago when it started, 3 weeks ago, I was walking, and that's all it takes, and I heard a kink, and I instantly knew I heard a pop into my back. Instant pain, right? But I knew I've had this happen before. I've thrown my back out many, many, many times. I'm 40 years old, bad spine. I've thrown my back out probably feel like 50 times in my life. So to me, this is quite normal. When the pop occurred, and I knew the next couple days is going to suck. You throw your back out. Anybody can tell you it stinks. It's really painful. You younger folks out there, maybe you have never experienced it. When you get older, you will. You older folks, you know exactly what you're talking about. And I expected just a couple days, take it a little bit easy on the YouTube, said, be good to go with some ice. The problem is it didn't get better. And so I was like, man, it's been a week. I cannot. So when you throw your back out, the first day it was like the next day is gonna suck. The next day you can't walk, hardly walk, crawling around, dead serious. The last 3 weeks, my entire life has been dreading making a video, and then resting, going to the doctors, therapy, everything. That is how my life has been for the last. I drove my car 4 times in 3 weeks, and that was to pick my daughter up and to go to the store, and then yesterday to the ER because I can't drive. I can't sit. It hurts that bad. And so I thought it'd get better, but it didn't. A week later, it's not better. So I was like, you know what? I better go to the chiropractor. I got an inversion. Hey, look right here. See? Got my inversion right there, folks. And I use that a lot. Therapy for my spine is quite normal for me. Okay, this is something that I've been doing for a long time, right? I got the heat pads, I got everything. I've had surgeries, right? I know all this, the bad back stuff. I got a bad back. It didn't heal after a week. Thought it would. It didn't. Go to the chiropractor. I went to 2 chiropractors in 2 days. The first guy I went to because my hip is double the size of my other hip. Now, I just assumed it was inflammation and stuff, and it is, but we're going to get to that part here in a minute. So he explained that I had 2 vertebrae out, so he could only get one popped in. He got the one popped. He tried so hard to get the other one. It didn't work. Went to the extreme pain. Went to the other chiropractor the next day. The other one, he pressed it in. It finally went back in, but it came back out a couple days later. Severe pain again. Shockingly, I just go on my inversion, and when I was laying there, I did a sigh. I heard a pop, a clink, clink, and my vertebrae went back into place. So, yay! That's when I said, yay, I think I can be good to go, right? You hear me say the video. I heard the kink. I was excited. Good to go. Yahoo. The pain continued. Now we're in a couple weeks. So I'm still in 3 weeks. That's all I've done. Man, why isn't it going away? Why the pain won't go away? Why is my hip double the size? Pain, and the chiropractors say it's just inflammation. It's just inflammation. The muscles stretched, right? But it was hurting so bad last night, I went to the ER. I don't go to the ER unless it's something serious, and I was starting to get diarrhea. I blacked out twice yesterday, nearly blacked out driving because I didn't know if it was the pain or if I bursted a disc or what. I started to getting nauseous. So come find out, my muscle from my back retracted into my hip. That's why I got double the hip right now. So I guess if you're like J-Lo, you got 2 hips. They gave me all sorts of medication. I am completely medicated up, from steroids to painkillers to muscle relaxers to everything, to see if we can get this thing back into place. Okay, get this thing to come back, the muscle to retract and give me some life back in my body. And I got to continue to see therapy to see if we can do this. If that doesn't work, I got to have surgery. That's what they're saying. So that's why my body, and right now I've been standing up for 7 minutes, 40 seconds. I'm in pain. And I'm standing is the easy thing to do. I cannot sit in a chair. It is, and that ball of muscle, unfortunately, is sitting on a nerve right here, and it's going down all my leg, and no matter what, the pain has not gone away. It has been sitting here the whole time. So I just got to wait for this, hopefully this muscle to relax more, get off the nerve, and then I can sit again, because I cannot sit. You sit, it's automatic. It's such a pain. It hurts it's hard to explain. So that's why my videos have been butt cheeks as of late. I do apologize for the butt cheeks videos. I do. There's not even graphics on this thing. I got to heal. I have to heal. I have got to get this thing taken care of. It has been the most miserable 3 weeks. Well, the third most miserable 3 weeks of my entire life. I've had meningitis, nearly died, and I was sick for a month. I had that neck fusion, and the week before I had that neck fusion, the pain was so excruciating, I would willing to do anything at that point, and I had to have emergent surgery because, again, I was 30 days from being paralyzed. I had no spine in my neck. That was the second worst pain, or the first worst pain in my life. Meningitis is the second, and this will go down as the third. And it's tough. Now, you young folks out there, I want to give you advice. And the older folks out there is going to tell you too. Everything that you do when you're younger, and this can go to the Detroit Lions like Frank Ragnow, Calvin Johnson, it affects your body when you're older. I used to be able to be all like falling or anything, like you can recover. You can recover. You can recover, right? When you get older, it's harder. It's definitely harder, and it makes life difficult. So if you're a young person out there, just understand, like, take care of your body. Don't be destroying your body. Try to eat as healthy as you can. Try to be smart when you're doing physical activities. If you're going to join the military, right? I was in the Army for 8 years. It's very physical. You know, you got to make sure that, you know, you're in physical shape, right? It's tough because if you don't take care of your body, and a lot of the older folks in here will tell you, it gets rough when you get old. It gets older. Like it gets tough. You don't bounce back like you used to. And that's why I don't get mad at Frank. That's why I don't get mad at Calvin, right? I don't get mad at players that retire earlier. Andrew Luck, I know a lot of Colts fans were mad at him. When you're in pain, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter about anything. You're in pain and it becomes insufferable. And that's the only thing you can think about is the pain. That's it. For 3 straight weeks, my whole focus has been on my back. I can't even think about anything because it's been so awful. And so these players dealing with the same things. So that's why, you know, I don't get mad when they retire. I don't get mad if somebody retires their physical issue because the pain is legit. Legit. And it just affects your whole mentality when you have pain that just will not go away. When you have pain that just sits there, and it just sits there, and it sits there, and a day on, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and then they have enough, right? And then they retire, and because the physicality of being an NFL player is immense. And they started when they're in elementary. It's not like they just started yesterday, and it's impactful. So I just just give me some time, folks. I promise. Today, right now, is the best I've felt in 22 days. This moment. It ain't over. It's going to be a while. But once I can sit down, and hopefully tomorrow, I'm doing everything, we can get back to normalize on this channel. We can back to normalcy. And give you the content that you deserve. You don't need to be hearing me whine and cry about this, but it is a legit issue, and that's why my content has fallen off. I don't like making this channel about me. I like making it about the Detroit Lions and about you guys. So that's why it's the third video out of around 2,000 that's not even about the Lions. So I try to make sure that I'm putting the Lions first, but just give me some time. It will come together. That's the issue. It is my spine. It is a pain-related issue. I know people has been hitting me up, and I appreciate it. But I appreciate all the prayers. But that's what it is, and we'll get back to it. So, with that said, folks, adios.